to another episode of the G.I. Joe New News Review. This is a little bit odd because normally it's Toy Talk Live, but our host, Terry Ruin, had a family event that he had to go to, so he had to bow out. So I figured we would just do it on my channel today. And of course, I have my co-host, Dan Thompson, the DanCast.
Hey, David, good to see you. And everybody, welcome to a special edition of Toy Talk.
Exactly, on the G.I. Joe New News Review. So we got a lot of interesting things to cover in this episode. And we got the stream, the Hasbro Pulse stream. We're going to go over that. I have a slideshow for that. I also have a couple of hot takes that I want to cover. I want to see what Dan's thoughts are. I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. I want to say thanks for joining us again. It seems like just yesterday I just saw Dan.
I know.
Why I have this deja vu going on here. But we have a really good rapport, and I like hanging out with him, so I'm very happy to be talking to him about all G.I. Joe and fun stuff again. So,
well, I want to say, before we get started, I want to thank you. David was a guest on my show, DanCast, Friday night. We covered the He-Man movie, and we also covered the Hasbro Pulse live stream, which we're going to go into greater detail on today's show, which was our plan for Toy Talk anyway. But I like hanging out with David because when we sit down to play G.I. Joes, he lets me pick first. So,
hello, Bobby World, and hello, Virgo. Cool. Thanks for joining us. Hello, beautiful people. Yo, Joe. And G.I. Joe News without Hector Ramirez. And then we have Lone Dragon, Super Dave. Thank you very much, Lone Dragon. Then we have Paisano. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. All right. So a couple of hot takes. This came out, and it's weird. You can chime in on this, whether you think I'm wrong or I'm blowing smoke or whatever. But every time there's like a bunch of cool Hasbro drops, new toys, excitement, and this and that, pre-orders and stuff, they always drop some like negative thing to like underplay it because all this other stuff like overdoes that negative. And here's a new negative that they announced that they're starting a new division of Hasbro, and it's called Hasbro Sixth Wall. And what this does is it basically takes all their IPs and it creates AI versions of their characters' voices, their characters' identities, their visual identities for these characters. So people will not take them and do their own thing and steal their IP. Similar to what Disney did, they created a new company about a month and a half ago. What do you think about this sixth wall that Hasbro is doing, Dan? Is this too far? Is this something they needed to do to protect their IP? What do you think about it?
Well, that's a good question, David. And admittedly, I don't know a lot about it. I mean, it doesn't surprise me they're doing something like this. My first thought is, my gut reaction to AI in general is let's slow our roll because we don't want to get in a spot where technology is outpacing us right now, and artificial intelligence will triple that, if not quadruple that. And I think we have to be very careful with that. Secondly, I don't know. I'd have to read more about it. I remember when Disney was starting to do their thing. But thirdly, I thought that's what your legal department was for, to protect your trademarks, to kind of be on guard if somebody's out there, and honestly, with all the third party stuff that's being done for the last, 15, 20 years, I'm kind of like, really? We're now worried about it? But I mean, I think it's getting to the point with AI where you could probably make a G.I. Joe cartoon, which we should try that for hoops and giggles.
See what happens.
You just can't profit off of it because you don't own the rights to it or whatever. But like, at some point, somebody's going to do that, and it's going to be better than anything they could put out. Or I don't know. I don't. Maybe there's.
One of the interesting things about it, Dan, is they had like big name actors and stuff doing the voices. They had Frank Welker. They had Greg Berger. They had a woman doing some woman voices, and then they had another guy doing some other characters and stuff like that. So they're getting Hollywood people, so they're going to own those actors' voices in perpetuity for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, I. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I remember a couple years back. Oh gosh, probably around when Star Wars Episode 8 came out. Maybe it was nine or around when Carrie Fisher had passed away, like right before, right after, and there was some talk of they were going to buy Disney was going to buy like her likeness, or they're going to buy like Mark Hamill's likeness, so they could do things with it in the future. And
They
I
did
know
that, right? Didn't they do that with James Earl Jones's voice? They did that.
I don't know. I wasn't that interested in it at the time, so I'm not really sure. Because I remember back in like 2000, like of course this is gonna, when the Matrix and Star Wars Episode 1 special effects were like cutting edge, or like, oh, we're making people talk with, we're changing the words they say. That's what George Lucas was bragging about. So like, cool. So they're not acting; it's a cartoon. But the there was talk about, well, we can do John Wayne movies with no John Wayne. We could do Bruce Lee movies with no Bruce Lee, because I think the Lee family had sold Bruce Lee's rights to somebody. But I'm like, I just don't really feel comfortable with that.
Yeah.
I could see like if you used it real quick for a commercial or like a meme or something, but like an actual movie, because it's not Bruce Lee, it's a cartoon. Just
Well,
make a cartoon.
hold on. So here's a comment by Bob World. There was a guy using the AI to regenerate all the original voice actors' voices, reading the original G.I. Joe comics, which I think is a good idea, right? But then he goes on to say, is when they use the voice to have them do outrageous things, or is where they do bad things that might not be good for that person's reputation, like using it in porno, or using it for sex things, or using it doing vulgar things. So that's an interesting juxtaposition, both sides.
Yeah, no, I can see. Yeah, you definitely want to protect that, but I'd almost feel like that falls under the could be like an arm of the, what's the law, the revenge porn law or whatever, where like if you were dating somebody and you broke up and you're posting their nudes or
Yeah.
doing stuff like that. I feel like AI stuff with that would be covered under that. Obviously, nobody's dating Frank. This guy wasn't dating Frank Welker or Peter Cullen or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like
Yeah.
it kind of falls under that umbrella. That, I mean, because I know if I was a voice actor and they were taking that, I would not be happy about it, because they have kids and grandkids, and
Yeah.
that's probably not their cup of tea or whatever. But
Well, it's definitely a conversation that's got to continue, and
gosh, we live in
definitely-
such a strange world now.
yeah, we definitely have to be very careful about AI. I think there's a place for AI in the world. It's just on how you do it. Like if you do like something like where do this backdrop is done by AI. My video that I created, it's stuff that I put together, and I put it together, and it was done probably using AI as well. But that's all stuff I created, I put together, and I'm using. So if we're taking people's their voices or their likenesses or their characters' IP visuals and stuff like that, and using it for whatever we want, like there's all these movies and all these different little clips and stuff that people are using and stuff like that. I think there is definitely a line, and I do think that line has to be defined, and there is legal ramifications for owning your own voice, owning your likeness, owning your own characters' IPs, visual and things. So it's definitely a conversation we have to continue. But I thought this was interesting that Hasbro created this.
Wasn't the world so much easier to live in when all we had to worry about was the Russians blowing up the world?
Yeah, I know, right?
It's like, it's all you had to worry about was the end of the world by the Russians, or Russians worried about America blowing up the world, but not, all this stuff now. Because I'm sure somebody will set precedent for it, but it's because you can almost do. AI is just rapidly advancing and advancing, and I guess my question for it is, because I know a lot of the comic book community was concerned about it.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't want comics or shows made off of AI. I want real heart and soul guy slaved over his desk working on it sort of thing.
Hmm.
Now, if AI can help make that journey easier for him or her, I'm all
Well,
for it, I guess. But at the same time, I was listening to a YouTuber last night um, talking about something, and he was talking about how Martin Scorsese says he's using AI for storyboards, and it's like, well, that'll put an entire industry of artists out of business.
well,
It's like, is that really going to save that much more money? And my question is, all the people wanting to use AI for comics or cartoons, like companies, not individuals, the companies. Okay, so if you're cutting out the middleman, the left guy, the right guy, the guy in the front, the guy in behind, and all that, and you're just product to customer, then you better be lowering the price because if it's next to nothing to make,
yes.
I'm not still paying full price for it because we kind of know the gig, right?
Yep.
So I don't know. That's a weird. It's a yeah, it's a weird conversation. I mean, not a weird conversation, but it's an interesting topic because I don't know where I land on it because
Yeah, it's
I like
tricky.
the idea of I was explaining explaining to somebody how the difference between the 80s and now and said, but one of the benefits about now is you can do stuff like YouTube. You don't have to be on some network TV.
Yes.
You don't have to hang out with Harvey Weinstein to get a job. You
Yeah.
don't have to do this. You can do your own thing.
You use
And
your
a
phone
lot of
to do it.
yeah, you can use your phone. Guilty as charged. But you can kind of be a citizen journalist, a citizen commentator,
Yeah.
a citizen creator, if you will. So some of that can kind of level the playing field. Like with me doing crowdfunding for my books, I
Yeah.
don't have to go. I'm the publisher. I don't have to jump through their hoops and
Yeah.
whatever. I can do what I want. I mean,
Right.
you want to do what's going to sell to the customer, but also too, I want to protect people's rights. And part of those rights, like a prime example of something, when you own real estate, you own 5 miles up and 5 miles down in most places, and unless you have a different contract, it might depend on state to state. But I don't like the idea of drones flying over my property because what
Yeah.
if the drone crashes into my car? What if
Yeah.
the drone and like it's my property? I don't want something hovering around my living space. I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
care what it is,
Right.
And so and I forget there was some court case that ruled on that, and I'm not really sure where it landed. And I almost feel it'll be similar to the AI thing.
Yeah. So I agree with you on a lot of those points there. I think like one of the big things is in January Hasbro came out and they made a statement. Chris Cox made a statement that they're going to be using AI art on Peppa the Pig and Transformers. I know they tried to use it on GI Joe, but the fan base just ripped them a new one and told them there's no way that we're going to accept this. And there was a whole kerfuffle with the Flint package last year with the
Oh
retro
yeah,
stuff like that. So let's read a couple of these comments here.
yeah.
Bobby World, that's what Disney did with James Earl Jones for he thought that they were going to use his voice for Vader for the good, and then they put it in Fortnite, and people are making him say crazy things.
Oh,
Um, so interesting comment there. And then
well, see, I
Judge,
think the family has grounds to sue on that
you think?
because if the people if they're mishandling that property because you don't own his voice, you're borrowing it.
Well,
If you're
you have a contract in perpetuity of that guy's voice. Yeah, Disney can use it for Star Wars and whatever advertising and merchandising or whatever they want to stick it in a toy, they can put it. But for someone to just grab it and put it on a completely different video game and use it and have it say all kinds of that's not right. So that's what I'm saying.
I agree.
They have to define these rules and the line and what's going on with this.
I get like the gimmick of I guess I get the gimmick of like, haha, he said a bad word, but like that would be one time funny and that's it. So like like I don't know. I don't get that type of humor. I don't want to hear like I don't know. It's a weird. We live in a weird world.
Uh, it is very weird. You're right. I'll talk about that in just a moment. 66 Delta. Yojo June friends. Yes, K-Mac. Thanks for joining us. Gunpowder Nitro, what's good? Not much. Just talking about G.I. Joe and some implications on the real world with AI. I can't wait to buy those Super 7 figures and Delta 17 exclusives. Does anybody
Oh,
know if Strike Force Alpha has any as well?
David, real quick. I got something yesterday I want to show you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all those companies have exclusives. G.I. Joe 66 Delta. Oh, you got your Snake Eyes.
Yeah, yeah. I was showed the back of it for TV Land. If we can
Yeah.
still call it TV Land.
Oh, yeah.
Streaming Land or whatever.
Streaming Land,
But no, a friend of mine picked it up for me, found one, and said, "Oh yeah, grab it." That's all they had though, but that's the main one I wanted.
yeah.
Um, yeah, oh, real quick, what did you think of He-Man?
So I was going to cover that with us. We can go over that real quick. So overall, I liked it. I think it had the spirit of the toy. I think it had the what it needed to portray for the brand going to a live action film and stuff. Me being a huge He-Man and Master of the Universe fan since childhood, 1982, and I have a huge Masters collection. I don't talk about it that much, but I do. There's a few things that were very cringy in the film that it bothered me, but overall I like the story, I like the characterizations, I like a lot of the visuals, I like the overall plot of it. But there's, as a fan of something, you sometimes something bothers you that's like really, and they're little nitpicky things. So I don't know if I should bring them up on here, but I felt that Castle Grayskull should have been farther away from Eternia. I think it was
Yeah, I was curious
close.
about that too. Why that was so close to the palace.
Yeah, so that was
or
a
whatever it's
problem I
called.
had. That was some, and the the HR gimmick kind of annoyed me a little bit too much. And it makes sense because the Filmation was always He-Man. Why don't we talk about this? Why don't we take our time and think about this? Why don't we do this? So it makes sense that they were calling that back, but I thought they did it too much. Too much.
I think it was some of the gags were fun, and then some of them were a little bit too much. And like, I get it. They for whatever reason they feel they have to like make fun of themselves to do this movie, which I totally disagree. I don't think you need to. And people are like, well, the cartoon was made for kids 40 years ago. Right. So like, but like I said on my show, I liked it a lot. I loved it. I just wish it would have toned down on, let's make it. Hopefully, if they do a sequel,
well, I think there was a little too much profanity by Man at Arms in it.
Yeah,
I think he's the only one that was using profanity, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna see it again and do a less critical watch of it and just relax with it. But the first one's always my critical view, and then I'll watch it again. But yeah, there was too much profanity, I thought.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It is kind of awkward sitting next to my son and hearing that, because we're trying to like really watch that stuff.
Right.
That
was a cringy part of it that I didn't care for either.
Well, when he dropped the GD, that kind of made me mad a little bit, because anybody that knows anything about me, like, I don't use the Lord's name in vain.
Yeah.
And I don't tolerate people around me doing it. You can say everything else. You can call me everything else. I don't care. Just don't say that, because like that's a rule in my shop. That when somebody breaks that rule, everybody's like, "Whoa!"
And then thing about it, it kind of breaks the fourth wall when they're using American Earth, like,
yeah, that's what I felt.
Like comments, like they don't have Jesus on Eternia. They don't have Jesus.
Oh, they might. You never know. But
they might. But it was weird. I think.
The Queen's from Earth, but I don't really see her like dropping GDs and F-bombs and all that. I mean, maybe that turned on Randor. I don't know, but like, maybe she used the James Earl Jones AI voice to say that to Randor, and it got him going. And Prince Adam was born 9 months later. I don't know, but like, no, I just think that I agree with you on that. Like, I don't want to come off as a prude, but I expect language like that in Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
I felt like it had more
This is a,
profanity in it
a,
than the
a
last Lethal Weapon did.
it's a children's toy property that you knew adults were going to bring their kids to. For that reason, they should have toned that stuff. I understand they were trying to get that PG-13 or whatever it is that they always try to get to a bigger audience, so it's not G, so no one will bring their kid to or whatever. But I think it was too much. One or two here or there was all right, but when he kept saying the same profanity word like 10 times in a row, I was like, that's a little too much. One, two, all right, and then later when he used the F bomb, I was like, oh my god, what is going on here? So I disagree with Gunpowder Nitro here on the soundtrack. I really like the soundtrack, and I thought they did a good job with it. But you're entitled to your own opinion on that. It says the comic book shop scene was pretty good, though. Yeah, I liked it. And the funny thing about it was the girl at the end. Hey, are you dating anybody? I thought that was a really funny thing to throw in at the very end. I was like, oh my god, that's hilarious.
I don't want to spoil it for those that haven't seen it because I want them to witness it.
Yeah, but that was
the PSA in credit scene.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was like, yes.
Chef's kiss. All the preview scenes, all the credit scenes it felt like the movie I wanted to see were in the credit scenes, and then a lot of the stuff that was in the actual movie, which I thought dragged a little bit, like the Earth stuff dragged a little too much for me. That's what I was worried about, was there's too much Earth stuff, and that dragged a little bit. I think they could have cut a little bit of that Earth stuff out of there, but overall, I enjoyed it. It was what I thought it was going to be, and that's it.
I did think it was kind of funny though when Skeletor and Adam have their confrontation at the end, and they're kind of, you don't really know. Like at first, you're like, is Adam dreaming all this? And then like you see Skeletor, and then
the whole sequence
when they go back to the HR, and Skeletor's got like the casual Friday on, he's like, what in the hell? What in the hell is there's an HR? You know,
exactly.
Oh, what is in your mind? You know, it's like I thought that was pretty funny, but yeah, some of the HR stuff drug on. I mean, I get it that they were kind of making fun of the woke.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yes,
but it's like you could have done it. Less is more.
Yeah,
I always feel like less is more.
I think so. I just think that there was too much on Earth as I predicted there was gonna be, and I know it was like 20 minutes, and then about the flashback sequences were all pretty much on Earth as well, except for one. So I just like, all right. But I think they could have cut about 20 minutes out of the movie, and they really should have tightened it up a little bit, the plot up a little bit, and cut out some of the profanity. And I do like a lot of the jokes, like, Fisto, I've fisted him too much and I can't fist him anymore. And then Ram Man, here, I'll ram him and I'll fist him. Oh, okay.
Like, whoa.
Exactly. Never mind, ignore that.
Way to go, Alan. It's Adam.
I
thought it was funny when he tried to use the HR tactics.
Yes. I thought that was kind of funny. I thought that part was actually funny.
Yeah. But yeah, I wish they would have. I don't understand, like, sometimes of these movies, because they kind of did it with G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. I mean, it didn't have the comedy like this did.
Yeah.
But like, I don't need every Marvel movie to be like a slapstick.
Right.
You know, like Deadpool is supposed to be funny because it's Deadpool. But I don't need, like...
I think Thunderbolts had the right tone of humor with it, had just enough humor to enjoy, but just enough seriousness to take what the situation was that they were in.
But it's like people see these not people, but like because I don't know if corporate executives are people or not. They might be reptilians or robots, because they sure don't operate in the common world. You know, the headspace of the world.
Yeah.
And it's like they all saw Guardians of the Galaxy and they didn't get it. They're like, these are a bunch of quirky characters put together, so they're naturally going to be funny.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean like everything has to be Guardians of the Galaxy.
Exactly.
Oh, let's have Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow banter back and forth and be silly billies. And, but no, I loved it. I thought it was a fun movie. My complaints are minor. I'm just glad they pulled it off and executed it.
Yeah.
And learn from the complaints of this movie and do a really great second one.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. I would basically the exact same thing. Overall I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great movie. They accomplished what they needed to accomplish, and the things that I have against it are little nitpicky things. I think maybe our nitpicking things are the same.
now
Now let's get in-
I'll ask you this because this was I can't remember if you asked me this or the chat asked me on Friday. As a Masters of the Universe, sorry, I can't talk today. English is tough. As a Masters of the Universe fan, did you like this better than 87?
um, that's a good question. Now that you asked me, and I've seen both films, I I like them both in for different reasons. I would say I put them both on pretty even scales. I would put this one a little bit above the 87 one on the scale, but I like them both for different reasons. And there was no profanity in the 87 one.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and there's a
I
few
feel
things
like
I like about that one a lot. But
it had the aesthetic of Motu better than the 87 one. The
yeah,
87 one, I think, had some heart to it uh, because of the story with the girl and her family and,
yeah,
trying to do this and that. And,
yeah,
this kind of like accidental adventure on Earth.
yeah.
Um,
It was like you've said several times, it's coming from the kids' point of view. A lot of it is, and they're having an adventure. It just happens that He-Man and them are on a journey, and they're trying to help each other and save the universe. But this one's a little bit differently. The plot is a little different, and it's definitely much more in the line of Masters of the Universe and stuff like that. And I loved the whole naming practices and things like that they went through. I thought that was hilarious.
yeah, and I liked I liked at the end when you saw him riding Battle Cat.
Oh yeah.
That really got to me in a good way.
Our cat was really cool. All right,
Oh man, I could have
let's
used more Cringer.
let's get back to GI Joe. So we're gonna go into the Pulse stream. I'm going to
Well, real quick, we would definitely recommend to everybody out there go see it.
yeah, definitely go
see it. It's a fun movie.
Yep, it's definitely a fun movie. It's worth seeing.
It's not Empire Strikes Back, but it's a fun, good, very good movie.
Yes, it's a very good, fun movie, and it's worth seeing. Bring your kids to it. Just block their ears when the profanity comes up. All right. So thanks to everybody for joining us. Gunpowder Nitro, Paul Morales, Derek Coleman, Bobby World, all you guys. Thanks for joining us. All right. So here we go.
I thought you were signing off for a minute.
What was that?
I thought you were signing off for a minute. You're like, hey, thanks for joining us, everybody.
No.
That was quick.
I didn't have a chance to say hello to everybody in the chat, so I was saying hello.
Hey everybody, welcome to Yojo June. I'm BMAC. I work here in marketing on the G.I. Joe team at Hasbro, and I'm joined by a very special guest for this entire Yojo June.
I'm very excited to be here. I'm Dan Larson from Secret Galaxy on YouTube, or you can find me at Toy Galaxy on Instagram. I'm also a lifelong G.I. Joe fan and collector, and I'm just excited to be here and see what you got to reveal.
Oh, perfect. Thanks.
So another one of the interesting things was I wanted to see what Dan Larson's take on this whole situation was, the Pulse stream. And so I went and I watched his episode last night about the Pulse stream and a lot of other stuff that he talked about. And I thought it was interesting. He said, and I think I was going to cover this after, but I think it needs a little bit of preface on this. He said that there was a schedule, a kind of a script, a kind of a cadence that they were going under, and that all these are pre-recorded all in one shot, just like I thought they were going to be. But he said that there were segments where BMAC would throw it to him and he would have to make a comment or make some levity or joke or whatever. But he was kind of like a deer in the headlights. He saw himself on the video cameras and this and that, and he was like watching himself. So he was kind of put off a little bit by BMAC whenever he would throw it over to him, because BMAC was basically carrying this thing, in my opinion. He really was covering the whole thing, and Dan was kind of like lost a little bit. And Dan admitted that, and he said as it goes along, he gets better. And I kind of predicted that he was going to get a little bit better as it goes along. So we'll see how this week coming up is going to be and the following weeks after. But it was interesting that he commented on that. And then there's another thing he talked about YouTubers. I'm going to mention that at the end. So if you guys want to hear what he has to say about other YouTubers and leaks and stuff, wait to the end of this and I will tell you what that was and see what Dan's opinion on that is, see what you guys in the chat's opinion on that is. So we're going to move this along a little bit. We're going to get to, let's see.
Well, can I comment real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm of two minds on this. One, well, a couple points here. Hasbro so desperately wants some type of influencer, whatever, to host these things, and I understand that. And because I feel like, no offense to Lenny or the other guy or Emily, that's not really their job. Their job is to do what they do.
Yeah.
And if there should be a press spokesperson to go out and say these things or whatever, and you can find plenty of people to do that stuff and just, train them up on what the product is. Now, I kind of feel like, in a way, that Dan was in an uncomfortable spot. And then I also feel like, you've kind of been on TV or YouTube, if you will, for quite a while. And you've already done this process with them once or twice before, that, you should be prepared for it. And then thirdly, just give it to him and let him do it. Let him do his own thing. Let him be himself. Give him his talking points, which they're not going to, because they can't legally risk. What if he goes on a tangent? Well, I mean, if they're filming it, they can cut it, But just let him be like, hey, BMAC and the guys are away, so the kids are going to play, and here's what we got. Here's what I found out that's coming out for June, or they're revealing, and then kind of go through each one and hit their talking points in his own way. I think that probably would have been the best thing to do.
Yeah, it was. I agree with you on that. 610 wants to make sure that we don't spoil the movie for him for Masters of the Universe. Sorry about that. Enjoy it, and I'll talk to you about it later. Take care. So, all right, the first thing that they revealed, no big shock to you and me. We've known this was coming for 6 months. King Cobra Commander. He's wearing his crown. He's very nonchalant there, very relaxed, having a good old time, ball of a time there. And this is an interesting one. So I'm going to let them talk a little bit, and we can comment after they're done. All right?
Sure.
We look in this next picture here, you can see him just lording over his kingdom out of Cobra Castle. So very excited for that here. But here, we got to talk about the product, right?
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. I mean, before you even get to Cobra Commander, this chair, this chair is elaborate and detailed. There's so much here. There's so many snakes.
So many snakes. Yeah, it was actually designed this way on purpose. So the idea is that he is the King Cobra sitting atop the pit of vipers, right? So you can see tons of ordained, just over the top, crazy designs here. Super gold, very opulent, pearls on the back in the hood of the King Cobra.
So many gemstones and scales, and
red.
It's just different surfaces.
Yeah, super fun here. So as you can see, we were able to give him the Cobra scepter, as well as the Cobra wrapped around the world in gold. You can clearly see that crown is on his head. I'm sure everybody's asking this question, so we're just going to do it. Yes, that does in fact come off. That was why, we were able to wear it as a ring, I think, essentially is how we were modeling it back in April. You can see he has a lot of extra accessories as well. Has his fist, because he couldn't be Cobra Commander if he doesn't slam a fist. Clearly, you got to have the pointy finger, although he always points with his right hand.
Of course, everyone else is to blame.
Everybody else to blame. He's got his...
This is incredible. I think this is a really beautiful, ornate piece. I'm very glad that they're giving us these dios. Looks like 2026 is the year of the dio pieces, because there's a lot of vehicles, there are a lot of dios, there's a lot of extra things coming with a lot of these. What do you think about this? And okay, so we announced this 6 months ago, that King Cobra Commander, and they were going to make us pay for it. And this was $69.99. So it wasn't quite as much as I thought. I thought it was going to be $80, but they went $10 less, but $10 more than what everybody else was expecting, $59.99. So overall, what do you think of this figure and all this information that we have about him?
Well, first off, it's not a chair; it's a throne. Secondly, I think it looks awesome. I think the figure. It's about time we get hooded Cobra Commander. I think the throne looks amazing. It looks like something Cobra Commander would sit in. I like all the detail to it. I think it's phenomenal. Um, the price is cheaper than what I was originally told, and in my shop, I think we're going to sell it just a tad bit cheaper, just to kind of make a point. But yeah, I think it looks amazing. Uh, Now they just need to make a Cobra Castle to put it in. That's my thoughts. But no, I think he looks great. I think the throne looks great. Uh, it's got the right amount of accessories, and yeah, I think it's awesome. I can't wait to add it to the collection.
Um, so the scepter is the one that came with Serpentor, by the way, if you didn't know that. And then the Earth with the snake coiled around it, that came with the vintage Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander that was with the hiss. So both of those are reused on that. So I'm gonna get to the package here. Hold on.
Knife, and then you can't see it. He's kind of sitting on it, but he does have his pistol on his side in his holster. Soft goods with him as well, so he has that cape that came. You just really get the commander in all of his essence, just how he is and will be. So super excited. Nice, fun, different packaging to make this a high-end collectible, as this is a fan channel only exclusive.
Yeah, I'm catching the gloss finish and the lights here on the eyes of all the snakes
Yeah.
and the gemstones on top.
It is fun. It's the one thing
really
we get
luxurious.
really well on G.I. Joe is we do get that nice spot UV on the box, so huge shout out to our design team. We actually had a designer from our Marvel team stepped up to help finish this project for us. We were in a little bit of a transition time, and it was just super fun. It was one of his favorite characters. He's a huge Joe fan as well, so it was exciting to have him come and work on this.
So there's a couple of little interesting points there. So did you like the box? Do you think this is a beautiful box? And
Oh, I think it's cool. That's one of the boxes I'll probably keep.
right, one of these weird, beautiful, ornate, decorated boxes with art and stuff all over it. Yeah.
One thing I want to
agree.
say before we get too far into it and I forget, I really appreciate the fact that BMAC put over Lenny and Tony
Yeah, I
and gave
agree.
them props. I think that's very classy.
Yeah.
And it's a very good tonal shift with his leadership in the brand. And I think that's one of the reasons he's probably the guy for the brand. And I'm excited to see what transpires under him with this new design team. But
I
yeah, I
agree.
think the box looks amazing. It's one of those, I don't really keep my boxes, but that's one I will probably keep.
I do. I just had to squish a whole bunch of boxes and put it in another tote that I have in my outside part of my garage. And so I do keep all my boxes. If there's a box like this, I keep it intact. I don't break it down. But all the other boxes, I just flatten them out and I put them in totes and stuff like that. But I think it's beautiful. I think they did a good job. I think it's interesting. They said one of the Marvel Legends team came over to work on this package for them to help, who is a G.I. Joe fan and a big fan of Classified and stuff like that. So that's good that they can help each other out in different teams, because I always thought it was a point where they didn't help each other out, but he just said they did in this.
They've done that historically. Bobby Valla talked about there was a project he was working on that Daryl DePriest, I believe, invited him to take part in. And Bobby was on Marvel and came over to G.I. Joe, and that kind of helped. It was like his audition to get into on the G.I. Joe brand, if I remember correctly what he was saying. So maybe whoever this Marvel Legends guy is, put money on it. He's probably going to be one of the new teammates.
Probably sounds like a good bet. I don't know who it is, but I know it's someone that has worked at Hasbro for a while. They're friends of Lenny's, and they're big G.I. Joe people, and they're stepping up, I guess. We'll see what happens. So let's move on. Let's answer this comment. For the Super 7 shipped... I'll talk to you about Super 7 later, G.I. Joe 66 Delta, okay? Thank you, though, for your comment. All right, so we're going to move on to the next item on the list here. All right.
Here. This is one bulky action.
Let's go back one. a little
Look
bit
at
there.
our first fall deluxe exclusive.
So this is a deluxe.
This is the deep sea expert himself. Deep Six is here. Let's check out the front of the suit, the top of the suit. Let's check out the entire thing he's got going on here. This is one bulky action figure.
Yeah, and then you can see here we only put the branding on the back in this photo, so we wanted to make sure it made a lot of sense to everyone. But let's take a look at the actual product here on the table.
Man, that looks good.
Yeah.
So we debated a long time about this. Shark, no shark, right?
Yeah, that is obviously something that's missing here. As most people would know, the vintage figure came with the vehicle.
Yeah, so we wanted to be mindful. We've done a lot of talking internally as a team. Like, we've locked some characters behind, you have to buy this vehicle in order to get this character. We felt like Deep Six was popular enough and famous enough that he should come as his own. Also, it was really fun. There was kind of this minor theme we were going to start talking about sea, but we're not quite fully there yet, so we didn't want to, like, jump the shark, so to say. You know, it just kind of writes itself there, right?
Sure.
So also a lot of other characters did use the shark within the animation, so we feel
Yes.
like it could either has an opportunity to be a troop builder with a deep sea character elsewhere in the future, or maybe we just do the shark by itself, but more to come.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot going on here. You can see he has his classic dome mask as well as this new classified mask that lines up to this. Again, like I said, no Joe branding on the front on purpose. He does say Deep Six and have the Joe star on the back.
But that is removable.
It is removable. So we really wanted to make a deep sea character that could work for everyone. So like people collect 6-inch lines, and we just wanted to give you something really fun there. His harpoon does have a name.
I think it's Jormungandr.
Okay, I think that's it. Yeah, but essentially it's this crazy serpent that eats at the roots of the world tree in Norse mythology. So wanted to give it something fun because it's kind of an underwater serpent. And
Well, that's a longer spear than I was expecting.
and it does have the string there, so you can have a lot of fun with your world building on it. And that does plug in the backpack like you saw. Fun colors here too as well. Decided to go with the yellow, just really makes sense for the deep sea explorer. And then you're probably all also asking, what is this extra head accessory on the that's coming with him? So Deep Six tends to be a little bit of an isolationist, as it was. So one day, maybe he decided to go exploring and his gear failed, or again, we're doing that world building. It's
gruesome.
So, a deep sea explorer just didn't make it back. So we wanted to give you that opportunity to really just kind of build out your world how you saw fit.
Now, I don't know if you want to...
An isolationist, as it was. So.
All right, let's get into this a little bit. So I love this. I think it's really cool. It's a different kind of a figure. It's a different type of world building, like they said. I think it's unique. They gave it the little bitty creepy head for him. I think the fact that they separated from the shark, it makes sense, because if we ended up getting a shark with this, it would have been $150 probably. So I think if you look at the back of the figure, they have that little hole for the backpack. And I think, I don't know if it was you or someone else talked about that. Maybe it was 610 Yojo Daddy on one of my shoots. You could maybe possibly in the future attach Deep Six to the bottom of the shark and then have him have this big apparatus vehicle that he was flying in the water with. And then you could put the bomb on there as well that came with the original. And then you could have a diver or a troop builder or whatever that could come with the shark instead. And I think that is world building. I think that is very interesting when you think about Deep Six and the shark. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he looks really great, and I don't mind that he's separate from the shark. I agree. If the pack put them together, it'd be very expensive. I love his design because it almost looks space age. And and you, I think, made the comment on Friday night that we could see them doing Star Brigade or some type of astronaut, thing with this suit, because the suit I think it looks really cool. I just thought looking at it, you could almost do it adjust the suit a certain way, and you have the Inhumanoids, Earth Core outfits. If you think about it, because they were kind of bulky looking, and obviously the suit's bulky looking because you have a human being inside of it, but it's I think it looks cool. And I like that different helmet because you can do your kind of classic look or kind of
it kind of looks like a Ripley helmet on that big mech that she was using in Alien.
Oh yeah.
It looks like that and that's why I thought it looks definitely more like a spacesuit with that helmet. But the other one, I do kind of, I'm warming to the old helmet, but I know there is a lot of people out there that would like to have gotten a second version of that one with a crack to kind of play that world up with the damaged skull and that creepier head that they added. So I can see that, I guess.
And I think it's fun that they put the little skull in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fun.
Maybe that's one of the relics that Cobra needs to create Serpentor. And going back to the Cobra Commander scepter that comes with Serpentor or whatever. Well, maybe that was Cobra Commanders and Serpentor took it away. So I like that they're kind of starting to be mindful. Of course, we're adults, but like for say you were a kid, that there's storytelling and play aspects of it. Like we discovered with the Cadet Deming shipwreck set, you could use the mass device pieces on it, and
well, we're going to get to that in a minute. So yeah, I think that is something where they're building this world and they're giving us a lot of options from year to year, and they're adding things that we can do different things with. And I've always said that it's a modular line. You don't have, just because Snow Job doesn't come with Snow Job's rifle doesn't mean you can't take a dozen other figures Snow Job rifle and stick it with Snow Job, or you can't put the AK-47 with the Cobra Trooper or whatever. You can do this. You can move the heads around. You can, if you want to take somebody that has a red head, put it on the Armored Cobra Commander, make it Fred 7. You can do that. That's the good thing about this line. There's a lot of that options there. So we're going to move on to the next one here. Let's see.
Accessories, we do like to push it a little into the world of metal a few times.
Let's see, we got this.
Calling the Battle in a Box.
Battle in a
here
Box.
You can see it's that Joe versus Cobra. We finally made a Joe quad that's not the Tiger Paw, as well as this black stealth Trouble Bubble. Very excited for that. Has a little bit of, And then you can see in this other photo too, right? We had the steel core head there, so you can see the troop building element of it. But yeah, let's talk about these on the table. So, Snake Eyes, not from Resolute, like everybody kind of tried to go say on the internet, actually inspired by a Mistake sticker.
This actually looks very, very good. It looks way better in these photos here, in this Pulse stream, than it did at Toy Fair. And I think it fits perfectly with your OG-13 theme and vehicles, your Ram, your Vamp, your MMS, your HAL, your Dragonfly. It's perfectly colored. It looks really nice, decoed, and I love that Trouble Bubble. I think it looks perfect for your 788 team, another trooper to add to your 788 team, and another vehicle to build out that faction, that theme. What do you think?
It looks better than it has any right to be.
Yeah.
And then I like the idea of Battle in the Box, because I was just thinking, looking at it, I could see them doing like the Jump Jetpack versus the Cobra Claw.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that Battle in the Box is really cool. Plus, if you're a parent buying this for a kid, well, here we got a good guy, bad guy, some small vehicles.
Exactly. You got a whole environment or a whole.
Yeah, and I just think that anytime you can do something like that.
Yeah.
And it's not a huge cost to them, because they're just repainting and with minimal retooling vehicles that are already in existence, and then figures already in existence. The Snake Eyes, from what I could tell, looks amazing. He does kind of resemble the Resolute Snake Eyes, which is one of my favorite designs. And yeah, I like the Stealth Trouble Bubble. I'm almost tempted to get two of these because I wouldn't mind having two of the quads for the Joes.
I think the only problem with this is when it comes to moms and grandmas buying this for their kid, to do exactly what you say, it is a little pricey, $109.99 for this.
Oh, that's $110?
Yes.
Holy smokes. Okay. Yeah, that's a bit much. I think it looks cool, so I'm probably only going to get one. I just think that's a bit much.
Yeah,
but you never know. There might be
like clearance and that stuff. They're thinking this is going to go to Ross and Ollie's and all that BS.
Yeah, I don't. If I want to get something, I'm going to get it. I don't worry about.
Yeah,
obviously I want to get the best deal I can, but
yeah. I'm right there with you. I'm the same way. I'll buy it. I pre-ordered all the stuff I could pre-order, and people get upset at me for pre-ordering because they're saying that I'm perpetuating the problem. I'm like, no, I want it. I want to make sure I get it. I'm not playing around. So,
Well, let's
but
address that. What's the problem that you're
they're saying that I'm paying full price and I'm pre-ordering, and that's hurting people that want it cheaper and people that don't want to pay that price and don't want to pre-order it. So I'm perpetuating a problem that these people feel is a problem. I don't feel it as a problem. I'm sure Hasbro doesn't feel it's a problem.
okay? Well,
If you
first
want
off,
something, you buy it. That's it.
first off, we can all agree these are all priced too high, and
Yeah.
I've gone over the whole thing with tariffs and not tariffs and oil and all that stuff in previous episodes. And I've also talked about how Hasbro confessed in 2018, before there was a classified line, that they wanted all 6-inch figures to be $30, and this is before tariffs. This is before any of that stuff.
Yeah.
In 2018, rather. This is when they said this.
Yeah.
But that being said, yeah, so that's $110. Am I going to pay $110 for it? No, because I'm going to pay cost for it because I'm a business owner,
Right.
and I'm going to pay for it what I pay my cost on it. But and I won't be $110 in my shop. I'll be a little bit cheaper because my 6-inch figures are cheaper than regular retail, even with the price increases. But all that being said, I still want to collect these. I still want to get them. So I don't see what the problem is, that because people want to wait and get them on clearance. I mean, like,
Yeah.
well,
it.
that's how the 4-inch line that we all love, Pursuit of Cobra, died, because people were waiting to get them, like Ross and TJ Maxx and whoever else, and Hasbro wasn't making any money, so they stopped making them. So, I mean, are you bargain? I mean, I get it. I'd like to get it for a better price too,
Of course.
but you don't have to get it.
Yeah.
But don't get mad
I-
at somebody that gets it. No one should be mad at you because you pre-order something. I just think
Right.
that's silly. Mind your
I
own
know.
business.
It really rubbed me the wrong way, but I do think there's a possibility that prices might go down slightly. Maybe I'm dreaming. Maybe I'm. And,
So what's these people's hopes that if Hasbro gets no orders on it, they're just going to say, well, we'll just put it at Ollie's really cheap. Guess what? They just won't make it. They'll just scrap it. I mean, like, it won't come out. I mean, like, I don't understand the logic that if David pre-orders it, we'll never get it cheap. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like,
well,
you know,
that's why it bothers me. It doesn't make sense to me either.
well, I had a guy that stiffed me on some toys because when they announced the price increase, he was like flipping out and carrying on, and I was like, dude, this doesn't affect the stuff that we already have and some of the stuff coming in. This is for later in 2026. And I said, besides my price, I already know what my cost is going to be. My price is only going to go up $1.
Yeah,
It's not going to go up $5. They're not going to be 27 or 28.99 or what's GameStop, like 32.99, which doesn't make any sense because GameStop and I have the same buying power. We have the same wholesale costs, which people that don't know, wholesale is what a retailer pays from the company to get the item. So they have the same costs that I do. So why is theirs that much more than mine? And it's greed.
I don't know. It's a conversation for down the road. We're going to move on, but I appreciate your insights in that.
Well, I'm
Dan.
sorry you're dealing with that. That just, to me, makes no sense.
Yeah,
It's like me being mad at somebody because they buy a car, a brand new car, and I'm going to wait and get it when the new model's coming out and get, like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. If somebody wants to buy it, good. I mean, there's some classified stuff. I didn't get the Snowcat or the Ramp Rats, but I didn't go, daggone it, you guys bought it, now I'm never going to get it cheap. Well, that doesn't make any sense. And if you don't want to pay eBay prices, then guess what? Don't pay eBay prices.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You can come to a store like mine and get them for regular retail.
It comes down to choice. Everything is a choice. How I do my collecting and how you do your collecting, how everybody else, everything's a choice we all make. But let's move on with this.
Yeah, let's move on.
So let's see.
Yeah, these look really cool.
Yeah, I like it a lot. These ones really surprised me. The next ones here, and that is Shebang and Scarlet. And I really love this.
together. And then you can see that we have a photo here of them with their alternate masks as well, which is just really great.
I love the Oni masks that they give these. They're so awesome.
Yeah, I like that they include those in there. It's a nice touch.
Shebang, my favorite ninja from East Greenwich, Rhode Island.
Ninjas can be from East Greenwich, Rhode Island. There's no problem with that.
But yeah, any comments here in terms of...
The 90s were a weird time for character design. Boy, it was colorful, it was bright. These ninjas aren't doing any kind of sneaking around under the cover of darkness or anything like that. But that's a testament to how good they are at being ninjas.
That's fair, yeah.
The bright colors.
And you can see, like, these colors are even semi-muted compared to how they were in the 90s. We did change the green on Scarlett's pants a little bit. So.
But I mean, if you're going to go there, you got to go there,
yeah,
right?
For sure. We did give her a little better physique as well.
Yes.
Doesn't have the same kick gimmick,
No
so we
more
didn't have
kick
to make
action,
her
no.
as dump trucky. So super excited for that. Thing to note about Shebang, his swords do actually go together. They make one big weapon like the original toy had, but we wanted to give you that playability, being able to pull them apart. However you want to kit your guys up. He does have fists if you just want to have him fist fighting and not using weapons, or maybe his weapons were ripped away from him, so now he's got to switch to fists. And then I think some of the funnest features that we achieved were these new swappable heads that are battle masks.
Yes,
So like he's a tiger, Scarlett's kind of a demon Oni thing going on.
Well, and you can easily picture, a shot of him with a bunch of other ninjas behind him, all wearing the tiger masks. I think it's really great.
Yeah.
She's also got her posable ponytail back as well.
Super fun. You can take that out, and maybe she's got short hair all of a sudden. But yes, iconic.
So this is really good. I hope everybody was able to get their pre-order. I got mine through Pulse, which is very rare that I order Target exclusive through Pulse. I typically will get them through Target, but it's so difficult to navigate their system to try to find the exclusives. And by the time you get it, it's usually gone. But I don't think this is going to be a problem. I think you guys are going to find this at Target. Trust me. Shebang, I just saw a whole bunch of people posting. There's like 14 Shebang and Slice and Dice 2-packs at the stores. So I don't think you're going to have a problem. Target's going to stock these. If you want this, just go to Target. Just get it there when it comes out in a couple of months. You're not going to have a problem getting these. I'm pretty sure. I do love the fact that they made fun of the 90s Ninja Force Scarlett, dump Trucky. I thought that was funny. And then BMAC talks about Shebang being from West Greenwich, New Jersey. That's his man, he says.
Connecticut.
I love the humor in this segment. It's really funny.
Yeah, I thought they were pretty funny, and that's Greenwich, Connecticut. Kind of reminds me in wrestling, the old Mean Street Posse. It was like Shane McMahon's like sorority buddies or fraternity buddies. They were like a bunch of preppy white kids, and they were supposed to be like this tough gang from Greenwich, Connecticut. So maybe She-Bangs was one of them. I call him She-Bang, but I was not a big Ninja Force fan back in the day because I liked it more military-esque. But the older I get, the more I appreciate it and I like it. Of course, I want to get them. I think they look really cool. The Oni mask, the tiger mask, all that stuff looks really. That's a nice touch. Kind of wish they weren't exclusives, but I guess they pick a theme. The sub teams like Python Patrol, Tiger Force, Ninja Force. I just hope they arrive better than my Ninja Force Zartan did.
Yeah, that sometimes happens. It's just part of the game. What are you going to do?
He looked like he lost a fight with Brock Lesnar.
Sorry,
that box was trashed. I mean, it was smashed, holes in it. And this is before it went into the packaging.
All right,
because the packaging was, it was like a like trash bag envelope. It had the bag. It was the shipping bag it was sent in was fine. It's just when you opened it up, the box was just like I said. Brock got a hold of it and then threw it in there and packed it up. So, but no, they look really neat. And I like that we're getting all corners of G.I. Joe's universe. Ninja Force. We've got Night Force. We've got Tiger Force, Python Patrol. That at any time they can go back and do more of these.
Oh yeah.
I think it's fun. I think it's a lot of fun.
Oh, I agree with you. So we're gonna move on to the next thing here.
You want to read a couple of the chats? I noticed there was a few. I've
been posting the chat while we've been going, so I just haven't talked about what they said. I just posted. So this is really funny. I love this. I'm sure you will enjoy these Fatal Fluffies, GI Joe from Cobra Commander. This is hilarious. I love that.
Yeah, I think the Fatal Fluffy's pretty fun.
Look at how big this thing. This actually is much bigger. 8 inches, they said. This is
Oh wow.
huge. This is going to be monstrous when I get it. And I did not know. I thought it was 2 heads, but apparently it's a face plate that clips on and then clips off. So you have 2 face plates, and then
That's a really good idea on that.
Yeah,
And that,
then the
that
little
saves a lot of
fire
money
that-
too.
Yeah, it saves a lot of money on tooling, right? So then the little fire goes in the mouth like that, like he's getting ready to get upset. And then when he does get upset, he has the fire that blows out and stuff like that.
Do you remember I talked about before that when I was a kid, I had like my NWO. My NWO was like Godzilla, $6 Million Man, Bigfoot, and then the Super Joe Green Monster. Like that was like that. Like they would just attack everybody. Star Wars, Buck Rogers, Playmobil, Lego. The Fatal Fluffies could have been like their foot soldiers. They would have fit right in. Like the 5-year-old Dan, 6-year-old Dan, and me would really like to get an army of these to put with those guys.
Yeah, I think these are really good. This is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Another one we've known about for quite a while. We name dropped it in January with our name list leaks, and another one that people thought we were crazy. But here we are. Fatal
Well,
Fluffies.
and again, I think we're touching different corners of the GI Joe universe.
Definitely.
Not
and this is the
not
type
staying
of
in just one
exclusive-
area.
This is the type of exclusive that should be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive.
Yeah, I agree. I was about to say that next. That I feel like this is a worthy. Although I feel like I could sell the crap out of these in my store and online, but I think like this and especially the next item are definitely exclusive worthy.
Yeah, definitely. And so then the next one is another San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and this is the one that we want to talk about when it comes to the world building a little bit more. There's the package, the Fatal Fluffy package, which I love.
That's so fun.
Yep, it is. Look at how big that sucker is. I'm going to go back slightly. There you go. Look at that. That is absolutely huge.
It'd be a great shot to have him holding up Roadblock
I would
in that
like them
kind
to
of,
do something like that. Yeah,
in that Darth Vader choke
Yeah.
hold, like he's about to choke slam him.
exactly. Yeah. All right. So then we're getting to this one. Cadet Deming with Shipwreck from There's No Place Like Springfield. Another homage to a Sunbow episode, 2-part episode, in fact. And then you get Polly with the thing that makes the
Synthoids melt.
Synthoids melt, and we get the glass of milk, and then we have the computer that has the circular things. I'm going to get to the section where they talk about this because I want to bring this up real quick.
Yeah, and to give you props, last week you kind of talked about this.
Yeah.
Because last Sunday I was going to get the little containers, and we said it looks like it fits right on there, and then they confirmed that, and I think that's really cool. And it just, again, there might be another item coming out that you can add to it, and now you down the road you have a full-fledged mass device. Or Destro is just really cheap and uses all the components for different things, multi-purposes and stuff.
Exactly.
But no, I think it looks cool.
Yeah, I think this is a nice 2-pack. I want everything out of this, probably except for maybe the Shipwreck. I don't mind the alternate head and the alternate beard and stuff like that for Shipwreck that I could put with the other Shipwreck. But I want the Deming, I want the Polly, I want the computer console. I want all this except for the Shipwreck main body because I don't think we really need that. But whatever. Everybody's
I think you could take that. You could almost take that Shipwreck and you could add some web gear to him. And kind of change him up a little bit.
Maybe
put like a cap on his head, or excuse me. I think you could dress him up a little bit. But I think he's fine. I don't have a problem with it.
All right, let's listen to this.
A lot going on
There
here.
is.
There's a lot of, I mean, first of all, Shipwreck isn't anything like the Shipwreck that's already been released. You've got a lot of different things going on here, including the Gray and the Beard, which I think a lot of us can relate to now, even if it's not necessarily real.
Yeah, I mean, his was dyed, ours
Exactly.
actually happened. But yeah, you can see he's got the swappable hair. So we have the bandage head where he thinks he's hurt himself, he's got captured, he's getting better, or he just has his old man look like you saw in the photo there a
Yes.
second ago. Cadet Deming has swappable hair as well to give her that kind of nurse look. Those goggles do come off, the interrogator goggles. She pulls those down before she starts using the console to start kind of the laser light show that was in the episode. The glass of milk, I mean, we went all out.
You've got everything here, yeah, all kinds of accessories. You really packed it in. Lots of different identities for her, and then you've got a whole console here as
Yeah.
well, and not to mention a different version of Polly.
Yeah, so you got Polly in flight mode. He's holding that synthoid destruction item, as it was called. You can see the green blast effect does plug into that. So the blast effect does come out, but he will always be holding the device. Also, one thing to talk about while you're holding Polly, this console here. So if you tip it up, you might notice there are 3 circles on top. Maybe if you had possibly bought some items last year, it might interact with those.
Seems conspicuously sized.
Yes. So, again, trying to build out the world of G.I. Joe and give everybody something fun, so it's not just like you have to know this episode and want this. You might want this for other purposes within your G.I. Joe collection. Also, super excited to get another named
I was
female.
just about
So, yeah. So this is a good set. I think it's a perfect type of thing for another San Diego Comic-Con. It gives your world building. It gives you something that is new with Cadet Deming. Yeah, there's some reuse and gives you some little extra things and stuff like that. So I think it's a really good option for that. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it. I think it's fun, and I like that you can reuse. You'll be able to reuse that console if you want. Because I'm probably not going to have that set up with Shipwreck. I'll probably have it with the mass device,
Oh, yeah.
maybe off to the side of the commander's throne, and then dress that Shipwreck up and put him in a truck or a helicopter or something. But no, I think it's a really cool idea for an exclusive, and really cool how they're reusing parts.
And do you think this is the type of thing we should be getting for San Diego Comic-Con exclusive? Something
Yes.
that not everybody wants, but sometimes the people that do want it could get it and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because like you said, the Cadet Deming would be kind of cool to get separately, but she's kind of a cult character, I guess. Like sort of like Lieutenant Claymore and stuff like that. And like you said, you didn't really care for the Shipwreck, so you're kind of getting both of them with this, getting that itch scratch with both of them.
Yeah.
And I like that it's an actual scene from
Yeah.
something. I
It's a
think that's
dialogue.
kind of fun.
It's another Dio playset thing, which they're leaning into a lot of within this year and last year. They had a couple of Dio.
Like I said last week, I like the idea of this as an exclusive versus like your generic Cobra Trooper,
Right.
which
Yeah.
everyone kind of would want to get one or many. And then a lot of people had issues with that when the line initially came out because it was a Target exclusive.
All right. So we're going to go. I think that is it on all that type of stuff. So those are San Diego Comic-Con drops. We're going to go into the first of the render reveals. This one kind of came out of left field during the April Hasbro Pulse stream, but we had a feeling this was going to come, or this character was going to come, maybe not this way, because they did mention in multiple interviews last year at New York Comic Con, San Diego Comic, they were going to finish off the OG-13 this year. So this is another OG-13, and it was very highly speculated what he was going to come with, whether he was going to come with the jump or the HAL. Everybody pretty much predicted the HAL because they would use the other version of him for the jump jet down the road and get some reuse, and then they will probably get some reuse out of this mold with Flash as well, which that's been announced as a retro card only release for Flash in the next wave of retro cards. So we will be getting Flash probably in this deco, very similar, maybe some different equipment and different helmet and different head, stuff like that. So from what I understand, this is huge. They talked about it on the stream, that it's way bigger than people realize.
I think it looks awesome. Anytime we can get the OG G.I. Joes or OG G.I. Joe vehicles and accessories I'm all in favor of. Because it just something about that 82 line. We were talking about it. You and I were talking about it Friday night. There was like Mega Force had come out in the theater in 1982. Eagle Force had debuted. G.I. Joe had debuted. Or maybe Eagle Force was 81. I can't remember. But you had like this military. There was like a whole new thing for military, kind of sci-fi, fantasy, military stuff. And this just added to it. And just, I don't know. I have really great memories playing with these as a kid. And just, I don't know. I really want to get all 13 and kind of have like a dio of them doing their. I have a small one of what they've come out with so far, but this I would love to have it all set up to where it's like the HAL, the flak, all 13, the jump jetpack, all that stuff.
Well, you know what's really interesting about this is there's an artist, a comic book artist, Jamie Sullivan. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him.
Yeah.
He does these class of like diorama posters, and he's been doing every year. He's done 82, he did 83, supposed to be getting 84. I don't know when it's come, but it has like all the vehicles from the years that they were released and all the characters. And I would love to do that in like a real world, put the poster like behind it and do a
that'd be cool.
display with all the vehicles and the figures doing everything that they do in the poster with that year, and having these huge diorama things with the poster in the back, because they are absolutely huge posters. They're like wall size posters, and I think they would be really cool to do something like that. I did it with my Transformer the movie poster. I have all the Transformers from the movie that came out in their positions on the movie in front of the movie poster, and
that's cool.
In my theater. And I just don't have enough room to do everything, but I would love to do that if I ever have a chance.
This just reminds me of how cool 1982 was.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because we had GI, like I said earlier, we covered the movies on my show, and just so many great movies that laid the groundwork for stuff, and then so many great toys, He-Man and GI Joe, which laid the groundwork for Transformers and all the Hasbro stuff and all the Kenner stuff that was going to come, post Star Wars. And I just think, man, what a fun callback to that.
Yeah,
I like it. This was a surprise to me. And I was very happy to see this.
Gunpowder Nitro wants to know what the price. Based on what BMAX said on the stream, he said that this was huge. I'm guessing this is another 110, $109.99 situation. That's just my 2 cents. I don't know because they haven't told us, but that's where I'm gauging this at. But
I have to see if this is one of the things we can get or not. I'm thinking $90.
I think it is. I don't think it's a Pulse exclusive. It could be, but I'm not sure. It's
heck, David, I might have had this on my list and forgot.
You might have, maybe,
because I was scribbling so much stuff down when however long ago that was. And admittedly, I'm terrible about that stuff.
I know.
You guys get on me all the time.
You know what you need to do? You just need to give me the phone number of these people, and I'll just call them for you, and I'll let you know.
I want to keep my accounts.
10 of this, 20 of this, 30 of that, 5 of this. All right, Dan, you're good? Yep. Okay, bye.
So why are we out of business? I don't know. We've got a ton of toys to play with.
Exactly.
No, but I think this looks really cool. Go ahead and go to the next one, because the next one really surprised me too.
This is the surprise of the entire thing. This is the one drop that I said I did not know anything about it until the night before when I found out about it, and it's the next one here. And that one right there.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah.
This was a surprise. I found out the night before, and I was swore to secrecy on this. But I'm very happy to get this because I bought Action Man in the 90s. I remember all this this orange and all this really cool different things. He's an action adventurer spy, and he would go on different things, kind of like the adventure team G.I. Joes. But Action Man was a British character, and Palitoy bought the license in the early 70s, late 60s. Bob Brecken worked on him, and that's where you ended up getting the Kung Fu grip from and the flocked hair. Before G.I. Joe introduced it, they had it on Palitoy on Action Man. Then they brought it back in the 90s, and there was a whole line of Action Man toys in the 90s, and they did a cartoon based on this Action Man in the early 2000s. I'm trying to find that cartoon. I don't have it.
Yeah, I think he looks really cool. Admittedly, I don't know a whole lot about Action Man. I know of him. I've read little bits and comp pieces, like when he had a brief run at IDW. But I think he's I think it's cool, and like we talked about on Friday night, that I feel like this kind of opens the door for a wider, inevitably, let's just say everything goes great with this line for years and years. Eventually they're going to run out of characters and would just kind of start over or create new ones. But I feel like this expands it in a way where that's not going to be a problem anytime soon. And that, like we were talking about Friday, you could do a Gem and the Holograms, the Misfits, Hector Ramirez. You could do Spike and Sparkplug from
Oh yeah.
Transformers. You could
Oh yeah.
do the Inhumanoid, Earth Core, Visionaries. You could do so much cool stuff in this scale. I love the 4-inch scale. Don't get me wrong; that's my heart. But I do like the 6-inch scale too, because you get a little bit more detail. And like we were talking about, you said you think this is the best version of Joe. Maybe I'm trying. I don't want to put words in your
Well,
mouth,
what
but
about actually
I
what I said? I feel that it could be
yeah, oh
the
yeah.
ultimate collection of GI Joe in one scale if it
And what
continues.
I said to you was that we have our beloved Real American Hero is kind of front and center. And
Yeah.
then we have the accessories in vehicles, if you will, of a Real American Hero, but also kind of feels like the 12-inch in a way. And then you can just kind of do, because 6-inch is kind of the standard in the industry right now, or it's been for a while,
Yeah.
that you could branch out and do other things that kind of fit inside that universe.
Yeah.
I think it's
I,
great.
I think this and Tomb Raider and some of the other interesting stuff that we're getting for like Legacy and things like that are like really good ways to branch this line out, and it's not something that not everybody needs to get. This isn't numbered, by the way. And then 610 Yojo Daddy says the HAL, Action Man, and Vamp Mark II are all Pulse exclusives. So there you go. That answers that question.
Okay.
But this is not. I don't believe this is a numbered. I don't think Tomb Raider is a numbered one, and Legacies are numbered either. So I think that's good that you can get this stuff or not get it. And for people that have nostalgia or have some sort of connection to it, being from Britain or Ireland or Europe or whatever. And I like it too because I had toys from this in the 90s. There's the comic book series Revolution from IDW. Action Man was in that crossover and part of that continuity as well. So he does fit with G.I. Joe. So there you go. So then I will break the bank for that Vamp Mark II. That's coming up next. Vamp Mark II is sick as hell. I'm going to try for 2 of them. Same. Misfits would be great Dreadnoks. Yeah, definitely.
Oh man, they would be on I have a Dreadnought section on my display. Which, sorry, I don't mean to like advertise my stuff, but at some point, Dancast is going to have a walkthrough of the comic and toy room. But I'm doing a little bit of a remodel in the house, and I want to wait till that's all done because some of that's going to go into my new office area, and I want to show that too. But I have a Dreadnought section in 4-inch scale and in 6-inch, and if there were Misfits, they would be right there with them and kind of paired up with them. Yep. I don't know. Zartan might have. They might all be Zartan's ladies. I don't know, but I don't think he'd want to share them with Buzzer, Ripper, and Torch.
So we're gonna
I don't think those guys bathe very much.
Yeah, probably not. So we're going to move on to the next one. And this is the one everybody's talking about. And it is the Vamp Mark II with Clutch from the desert. And that rocket launcher is the rocket launcher that is on the back of the Snowcat. I don't believe this is the same Clutch because I don't recall my Clutch having no shirt arms. I think there's some slight deco differences on this and equipment differences. He has the steel core helmet and a bunch of other stuff, but this looks really cool. They used a little bit of Stinger, they used a little bit of Snowcat, used a little bit of Vamp, and they cobbled this together. It looks fantastic. And there was a couple comments about desert, but I'll wait till later to talk about that desert till you let me know what you think about this.
Yeah, man, I think this looks amazing. I loved this as a kid. The Vamp, I said this on Friday night. The Vamp is one of my all-time favorite GI Joe vehicles. If I had to like pick one, like one land vehicle, it's probably the Vamp, and then like maybe the Mobat or the APC. And when they did the Vamp Mark II, I just thought it was just freaking awesome. As a kid, I don't even think I picked up on it that it was supposed to be in the desert. I just thought it was looked awesome. I mean, yeah, I did know it was for the desert, but it didn't always get used in the desert in my play scenarios. I think Clutch looks good. I like it's a little bit different than the original,
Yeah.
which we've said before.
We want that.
Yeah, we kind of want that. It's got the feel of the original. It's just slightly different, and it makes sense for him to show off his guns, so to speak. Because if he's going to be in the desert, it gets pretty hot.
Yep.
And yeah, I think I think it looks good. And this is it's kind of a no brainer because they already have the mold, so why not use it? And just like Hasbro did back in the day, I mean, it's a no brainer.
And one of the interesting things they said on the Pulse is that they knew they were making the original Vamp, and then they were going to do follow it up by the Stinger right off the bat, and so then they had other things they needed to do, so they followed up by this. But they know that they want to do another run of the original Vamp because a lot of people did not get it, and it's going for astronomical prices on the aftermarket, and they felt bad, but they had these things already in the pipeline and they had to follow through. So there's going to be another run of the Vamp. What do you feel about that? Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think that's going to ruin the market, or do you think they should change it up and make it different so it's not identical to the other Vamp? Or how do you feel about them re-releasing the Vamp, the original Vamp?
Oh, I don't think there's any issue with that. I mean, the market's going to be determined by need, desire, and scarcity. And if you're someone trying to sell one, I'd sell it now. Or if you're like, oh, well, I can't make money off this down the road, put your money in the stock market. I mean, because these are toys. Yes, they're kind of made for us adults, and we're very blessed to live in a country and a world where, as adults, we can buy stuff from our modified, adjusted things from our childhood. But yeah, I think, yeah, they should, because there's people that don't really want to spend $200 on a Vamp, and I don't blame them. It's probably the same people that are mad about them redoing the Vamp are the same people mad at you for doing pre-orders,
Exactly.
which makes no sense. They often contradict themselves.
Right.
Those that scream the loudest. Yeah, I don't have any issue with that.
I think
Because I have friends that don't have a Vamp, and they'd really like one, but they don't want to spend it on. But they're smart, and they're like, well, I'm not going to pay eBay prices or aftermarket prices. I'll wait, and they're waiting. Worked out.
And I think that it has played out a couple of times now. We just got the Arctic back in. They did another run, and it makes sense that they would want to re-release something for people because they want people to get this stuff. And we've got all this Arctic coming out this year. Yeah, why not get those bats out to people that pre-ordered and never got it? And the same with the Vamp. People want something. You want to make something for them. And I always like to quote Brian Flynn when he talks about this stuff. Look, we don't want to make this difficult for people to get. We want to make sure there's enough for people to get if they want it. If there's a need in a market and a demand, we're going to make it. And this makes perfect sense with the Mark One Vamp to put that back out there, because that is $100. That was $100 vehicle, but will they change the price on it? Will it be different? How are they going to turn this out? I don't know. That's going to be interesting.
It'll probably be $109.99.
You think
Is
so?
their silly fake tariff markup? But yeah, it reminds me when Classified started. I had some people that hadn't shopped with me in years come back, and they were all in on it. And then in the same day, they called me and got mad at me because of the Target exclusives, because they couldn't find a Beachhead or somebody. And I'm like, well, I'm not Target. I'm Zone Comics and Toys, Action Verse Entertainment. If I had control over Target, it'd be a whole different scenario in the world, But I was like, I don't control Target. And they, well, if I can't get all of it, I'm not going to get any of it. And I think that's kind of a piss poor attitude to have. Get what you want to get, you know, and eventually you could. I had no problem getting any of those exclusives. And initially, I did, but then you just be patient and they refill it, refill their stock quantities, whatever. And everybody I know that wanted one got one, and I was able to find extras for people, and I didn't do any upcharge on it. I was like, here you go, just give me what I paid for it. I think it was like $20 or whatever it was, $22. But no, I don't think there's any issue with them reissuing vehicles. Now, if it was like the His tank
Well,
and it
that's
was cheaper
right.
than what we paid for, I'd be like, yeah, it's kind of, you know, that's a little weird, but there's some question there. But like, yeah, and but I also, in fairness to those two guys that kind of flipped out about it, they should make this stuff available. I mean, like, what they don't profit from the secondary market. They don't profit from eBay or toy shows or toy malls or whatever. They
Yeah.
profit from selling these to retailers.
Yeah.
That's where they make their money. They don't. They
Right.
have no skin in the game.
Yeah.
They don't. Why would they care? Like, oh, the vamp goes for 200 online. They don't care. It's,
Yeah.
but they care that they have customers that don't have it, that
Yeah.
want to have it, and
Right.
I applaud them for taking care of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, any of this stuff should be available for anybody.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
agree.
Pulse, Fans Channel,
Yeah.
Big Box, they should be able to
Well,
get.
they talked about the Cobra Commander, the hooded Cobra Commander. They made sure that that thing was going to be available for everybody, and they already have a second run of that in production because they knew if it sold out, they were going to need another batch. They want
Yeah, I
everybody
see
to get
people
this.
freaking out about it online, and I message them like, "Man, you can still get it at my shop." And I've had people like, "Oh, go ahead and put me down for one." And we might be cheaper than 69.99 or whatever the price is, because I have to see what my cost is, and then I like to be cheaper than what regular quote unquote regular retail is. One, because I want to give a good value to our service to our guests, and then two, I want you to shop with me and not Target or
Right.
Walmart, you know. But
Yep.
yeah, so anybody out there that needs a hooded Cobra Commander, hit me up because I still have some stock available for customers. But anyway, back to what you were saying.
So now we're going to go into some name onlys that they revealed. The first one was another one that we've known about for quite a long time. When we did our leaks in January, we talked about two new legacies. We talked about the legacy infantry or whatever that guy was, and then we talked about an Arctic rescue, and we joked that maybe it would be fun if they included it with a Saint Bernard and the little barrel and stuff like that. But it turns out
As long as he has bourbon.
exactly. There was some. Turned out that there was some hemming, hawing. Nobody really knew what this was going to end up being. They went back on it. They changed it, and I guess it's called the Legacy Mountain Rescue, Arctic Mountain Rescue. So it's going to be more of a mountain rescue type of character. And they're looking at some of the deco, maybe in the I think it was the Resolute, where Doc had that orange and yellow coat, and he looked much more brighter and stuff. That they might be playing around with that deco a little bit because they said this art on the package does not really represent 100% what the figure is going to look like. It's
Yeah, that
different.
makes sense because you want a rescue guy to be able to be seen.
Right.
So like if you're stranded and you're like looking around, because you can kind of get that 1,000-yard what does it call it? The 1,000-yard stare or glaze where you just everything kind of looks the same after a while. And then okay, here's an orange dot. Oh hey, I'm over here. You know, I think this looks cool. I like that they're doing stuff like this again, as we were saying, kind of expanding on the line a bit. And if you don't want to get it as a fan, you don't have to get it. It's not integral to your collection. I'll probably get a couple of these guys because I think they're fun.
I think so too. I love all the legacy because there's a lot of world building with these guys. You can do different things. You can take a normal G.I. Joe character and use these guys as green shirts in different environments, in different arenas of battle and stuff like that. They don't have to all be named G.I. Joe characters. They can be green shirts in different environments.
Yeah, I think it looks really cool. And again, I like that they're doing stuff like this. That shows they're trying to be creative. They're trying to be cost effective because they're probably reusing some parts.
Dan,
And I don't get too worked up about, like on GI Joe, if they reuse parts, because let's face it, it's the Army or the military.
exactly. It's gonna
They're all going to wear military boots.
exactly.
You know, they're not going to wear like Thor's boots and Captain America's boots and
exactly.
Hawkeye's boots. And I had a guy that used to shop with me that would always bitch about Hasbro reusing parts, and I was like, "Did you like the original 13 Joes? Oh, I love those. Those are some of my favorite." I'm like, they reused all the parts pretty much.
Yep, you're right. Dan, can you say what your website is? So a couple people want to order from you. Can you put your website?
Yeah, it's zonecomicsandtoys.com. The best way to contact us though is go to our YouTube or Facebook page. It's Zone Comics and Toys on Facebook, and shoot us a message on there. I probably won't respond right away because we'll be back in the store on Tuesday, and on Tuesday or Wednesday I'll respond to all those. And don't worry, your spot's not going to be lost. As far as like the Hooded Cobra Commander or anybody like that, and then we'll work out all the purchase details with you when I get a hold of you.
Thank you very much.
Or you can message me directly, Daniel Thompson. I think my Facebook icon is like an animated version of me with a cowboy hat on.
So Same Time Tourist says, I hate to say it, but I think they're going the wrong way with the legacy figures. We need an EMT, maybe a riot squad, and a nurse. I 100% agree with you, Same Time Tourist.
I think we'll get those.
I think we will too. I think it has to do with reuse, because almost everything legacy is reuse. So we've got to start getting into some of these other figures that they've been releasing, like Lifeline and some of the molds and stuff. Then maybe we'll get some of that stuff.
And I think that's
I
agree
with you.
I do think that's a great point. And I think like what you just said, they'll get, or I just said, and you kind of said too, they'll get to that. And I think those figures sound really cool. I like to have a couple of EMTs, and because Cobra's got to be able to take some hostages. And here's a crazy thing that I would love to see them do is give me like some generic people in suits, like the quote unquote the senator or CEO or what's her name from Operation Lady Doomsday, Dr. Burkhart. Give me some characters like that, so you could do a really cool Cobra diorama with Dr. Burkhart or Senator X or Chairman X sitting there in the chair, tied up, Dr. Mindbender get ready to go to town on him, and then here comes the Joes to rescue. I'll tell you something really cool real quick. My son, like any parent, we're doing the struggle with screen time versus non-screen time. And so one of the things that my son will do is he'll play with his Joes. He loves the 4-inch Joes. And so we have Fisher Price Adventure people, and the guy that looks like Lou Grant or whatever his name was on what was that show, David, in the 70s, the Reporters? Was it Ed Asner? Was Lou Grant or something?
Yeah, Lou Grant, that's correct.
There's a guy that looks like Lou Grant.
Mary
And I
Tyler
told my
Moore.
son, I was like, just come in my room, grab the Lou Grant looking guy, grab the black lady with the fro with the microphone, and grab a couple of the other adventure people, and just have them be like a senator, a secretary of state, whoever you want, and have your Cobras capture them, and the G.I. Joe's got to plot a rescue mission. So we've done a few of those too. So I think like if they did that with 6-inch, like your battle in a box, could be rescue in a box.
Yeah,
And it could be your EMTs rescuing a victim of Cobra or the Red Shadows or whoever.
Some attack of some, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a little bit too close to home though. Like, but yeah.
Well, I don't mean like, let's not duplicate things, but
right.
Just kind of pattern the play after the cartoons or something,
Yeah, right. So this is our next name only. This is another one. We named only. We leaked this in January. We knew that there was going to be a couple figure and pet companion sets this year. We did Dr. Rockclaw and the Pyrrholicus. We didn't know his name. We didn't know the dinosaur's name, but we knew it was a Cobra with a dinosaur. We knew Dusty version 2 with Sandstorm was on the way as well. And this kind of leans into the whole desert theme, because there was also another leak of a 3-pack Desert Trooper set to go along with your Arctic 3-pack Trooper set. And we don't know exactly what's going to be included in that. We just know that it's on the way. And now we have the Mark II with Clutch, and we have the original Dusty. We have the original Snake Eyes, Desert Snake Eyes. We have the Desert Scorpions. You know, we're building this desert theme now. BMAC said later in the year we were going to be building this desert theme more. And so this was a big hint into that. What do you think?
Like we talked about Friday night, I think this is a neat figure. I never had him as a kid. Never had him as a kid. And I wouldn't mind having him now. It's just a different version of Dusty. Of course, I think I said too, I would love to see a Schrader, Dusty, and Lieutenant Claymore 2-pack diving into the, you know, cartoon lore or whatever. But yeah, I think it'd be kind of neat if we had a Cobra Desert pack and a G.I. Joe Desert pack. And you could reuse Duke, Scarlet, whoever, maybe make a desert green shirt trooper,
I think that's a good shout, because there's like, what, 3 or 4 Desert Dukes from the 90s? I think that's the perfect character to do in that pack.
There was the one that was supposed to be like kind of the
Desert Storm?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like Desert Storm-esque, you know, because they were
there was a
trying
bunch.
to capitalize somewhat on that. Or not
Yeah.
capitalize.
A
That's
green
bad.
shirt.
We're not trying to capitalize on war, but like
No, right.
reflect current,
Exactly.
you know.
Definitely a green shirt in Desert Deco. Definitely a Duke in Desert Deco, and then stick some Cobra Trooper in there as a
Well, you could always do the
Viper.
Sand Fox was the one
there you
kind of
go.
desert vehicle that you could always do
Yeah.
that too. But no, I think that's kind of, I like that they're doing all the different environments. You know, he mentioned something about the water too. If you heard him with the Deep Six,
Yes, because they started to build out the water. They haven't
but
quite
not ready to go all the
optimized
way
it.
or something.
Right.
I think that's going to be a big thing for next year.
Oh yeah,
But
that's
no,
definitely 2027.
I'm cool with GI Joe. I mean, they fight for freedom all over the world, you know. So, because it'd be kind of fun to recreate scenes or like play with your kids. You know, oh, we got to get the mass device pieces.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
or the Weather Dominator or whatnot. I think that would be fun things to do dios of photography for
So-
folks out there that do the really great photography, and then also to play with your kid or the kids to play with.
So BMAC made a point to call this out. He said it's very Deke inspired. So he looks a little bit like Flint, and so it doesn't matter to me. It looks perfectly fine for me. Dusty version 2 was a cool looking figure, and we also have Spearhead Max. Maybe we'll get him down the road since we're doing more desert.
Yeah, I believe Spearhead and Max are coming. I think that was on my list.
So you think that'll be in the next year, 27, as a
It'd probably be later this year. Actually, if that was on my list, it should be later this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're gonna think? So you're saying there might be 2 more pet and figure companions this year?
Yeah, I got to find that list, because once we got done talking about it like 3 times, I got rid of it, or just I don't know where it's somewhere in this room. But I'm pretty sure that Spearhead and Max, unless they got it mixed up with Dusty and the whoever's companion is Sandstorm. But no, I like I said, man, they could, whether it's 4-inch Joes or 6-inch Joes, I'm all in on GI Joe.
Yeah.
I don't like the pricing, because if I was a quote unquote civilian buying it, I would be a little bit tighter on my budget, or I wouldn't be doing as different lines and stuff. But no, I think they're really cool. And the Dick inspired, I don't know about, because the Dick cartoon's kind of hard to watch. Although I've rewatched a little bit of it with my son, and it's not as bad, but it's still not good.
Yeah, Deke is it's another thing, and you really have to be on another level to really understand that. And if you're into like a certain life, like smoking and really having a calm and relaxing atmosphere and stuff, Deke might be your speed for your animation watching.
Well, it was rumored that SEAL Team 6 played the Dick episodes for whoever they captured to find Bin Laden.
Oh,
and
my
just
God.
after 2 episodes, the guy's like, "I'll take you right to him." Like,
Yeah.
I'm calling him right now. Hey, Osama, I'm coming over real quick. I got some I got some stuff for you. I'll be over in a minute. Like they
Yeah.
were able to find him pretty quickly. Because of that.
So that's
The Dick
hilarious.
cartoon.
I think that's funny. But yeah, a lot of the '90s. There's some really great '90s stuff. So I'm not taking anything away from the
Oh,
'90s. I love a
I
lot
just
of
thought
the
of
90s.
something. You just said 90s. You were talking about Dick. Not going back to
Fisto, I
He-Man and
fisted him
Fist.
too much.
Yeah, not going back to Ram Man or Fisto here. We're not going down that road. But the Dick one of the Dick cartoons they did write was Cops, and that is a Hasbro property. And what if we were to get one of the Cop figures down the road?
They're doing it through the Big Bad Toy Store Studios is doing it. Remember?
Sure, but I mean Hasbro. It's a Hasbro property, so they can do what they want with it. And that
6-inch.
That would be really cool.
This is 6-inch. It works perfect.
Oh no, those look amazing. But I'm just saying, what if Hasbro decided to throw in a BP vest? Because there was a G.I. Joe named Bulletproof.
I don't think you're going to do it if someone else is going to do it at the same time.
Yeah, but Super 7's doing G.I. Joe and Hasbro's doing G.I. Joe.
Well, they're different scales.
I know, but I'm just saying, it's Hasbro can, if they wanted to do that, they could.
They could if they wanted to.
But yeah, I think that'd be kind of fun to throw one in. But yeah, those look pretty neat.
I definitely recommend you get them. They're beautiful. And their customer service was really good. They replaced my one that was damaged.
What's the retail? What's the retail?
It was $27.99. I think the shipping it was like $34.99.
What, the Cops figure was only $27.99?
Yes, it was cheap.
On Big Bad?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, I know what I might be doing when I get off of here. I thought they were more expensive than that. I thought they were like $60 or $50.
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm still tempted to get some of the Ramen Toys, the quote unquote 18 van or bread van or whatever.
Because the Knight Rider and kit, $300. If you do early bird now,
gosh man, that thing looks
$340 if you don't.
Are you going to do one of those?
No, I just can't. Not for that price.
That's the one thing about this scale. It does get pricey. I could do it without the electronics.
Oh, it's sold out. It's sold out at BBTS. So that means they're going into the next guy, which I think is Long Arm or Dr. Bad Brains or whatever is the next one. So they said if they sell out, they're going to keep doing them. I
wonder if Dr. Bad Brains was akin to Dr. Arkaville, who's about to make his Energon Universe debut.
But yeah, maybe you'll see if you go to Joe Fest this year, Big Bad Toy Store Studios, they may have some there. So
David, before I forget, because we usually talk about Energon stuff, I already looked through Mask #1.
Oh, good.
It looks awesome, and Venom is freaking evil.
Of course they are.
Miles Mayhem is not a nice human being. So I think Mask is going to be a pretty cool book.
Did you get all the variants, the blind bag variants, and what were they all?
Not yet, because I'll be able to talk about that next week. But for whatever reason, we didn't get all our shipment. I don't think anybody in our area got our shipments. We got one box, and it's made me a little nervous. Because I haven't seen tracking on the rest of them yet. So. Yeah, and it's a massive week next week. Absolute Batman, Absolute Catwoman, Absolute Green Arrow, which all those sell out. And the Absolute Catwoman's debuting. Mask #1, Transformers 33, Real American Hero. It's just a huge, huge week.
I just sold all my Absolute comics. My Batman #1, 2, Wonder Woman 1 through 5, and Superman 1 and 2 to a vendor the other day for $100 for all of those.
Oh gosh, man! Absolute Batman 1 goes for about $300 itself.
Well, it was more. I got more for it for the $4.99 of it that I paid for it.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a good deal either way, and they got to make their money too. So,
all right. So that was the Pulse stream. I kind of fast forwarded a little bit. Overall, how did you feel? Do you think it was a really good stream for the first week? We got a lot of stuff for that first week. We got 4 pre-orders that first week. do you feel the rapport was good? Do you think the whole environment was good? What do you think overall for the stream?
Yeah, I liked it. Like you said, Dan Larson was a little stiff. I feel like it let Dan Larson be Dan Larson, or get a Jordan Hembrow or somebody, or just let BMAC run it. I don't, but all that's kind of immaterial, bit to this. But I thought it was fun. I like that we're getting something every week, unlike previous years where they might have just had one episode and then drop the ball, or it's just kind of like, oh, here's a leak we're putting online.
Well,
I like that they're doing the live streams. I think it's fun. I like the attitude going forward and the energy going forward.
So that news thing that BMAC put out there from his socials, from Instagram, the night before, said there was no HasLab, but he also said that there was going to be 14 pre-orders this month. And so every week there's going to be pre-orders for the whole month. And we only got 4 pre-orders so far. So we got 10 more to go.
From what I know, with what's coming out this year that they haven't announced, that we might have talked about a few things months ago. This year, next year are going to be pretty big G.I. Joe years. And I think the same for Transformers and hopefully for some other things. But yeah, it's going to be a good time to be a fan.
Definitely.
We had somebody in yesterday that they were saying that they were born in '86, and they had an uncle that was buying them G.I. Joe toys at the time to give to him later.
Yeah.
So like when he was old enough to play with it,
yeah,
his friends were kind of jealous because he got the Tomahawk and he got all the cool '86 stuff.
Yeah.
Like in '92 or whatever.
That was one of the biggest years, was '86.
Yeah, we were saying like, yeah, and I said, well, your parents were probably celebrating that G.I. Joe year so much that you were conceived, so.
Yeah. So a little bit of interesting information that came out. I said earlier that I watched Dan Larson's stream to see what his feelings was about the stream and how he felt it went and this and that. He made a comment about something that I wanted to touch base with you and a lot of the guys in the chat and see what you guys think about this. It was kind of something that rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. And I like Dan Larson. I've met him. He's a really nice guy, very affable, friendly type personality. But he made some comment about the leaks spoiling the Pulse streams in advance, and a lot of this stuff getting revealed before Hasbro can reveal it. And I thought, well, that kind of feeds a lot of these YouTube G.I. Joe channels and influencers, right? G.I. Joe and toy influencers. When we get leaks and we get name onlys and we get clues from Lenny and them at conventions, and we get clues at different interviews and Pulse streams, they give clues, and then we can kind of put stuff together. We get vendor leaks, we get port information from port names and code names and stuff like that. I think that's kind of part of this whole toy tuber influencer job, and I thought it was kind of like a little bad taste on my part. I don't know if he was intentionally coming after people that I know or people that I'm friends with or whatever, but it seemed a little odd. What is your take on that? Because you give us leaks and stuff from vendors and stuff like that, and you're part of this whole process, this machine that we're going through every single month.
I don't leak out anything that I'm not allowed. I don't say stuff I'm not allowed to say because there's certain things I've known about that I've had to keep quiet about. It's a weird animal that seems to eat itself. It seems like there's this whole industry. Like, I just feel like there's some guy with a hat and a trench coat with a clipboard and a little recorder that's like at the dock reading the crates, and then it says it's like Snakebite is coming in. We got to decode who Snakebite is. Like, that's too much effort for me. Like, I'm happy if I didn't know any of this stuff that was coming out, and then until this, I'm happy to know about it. I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me, but I do think it's funny though that when people do talk about stuff, like I'll go back when Classified was introduced, I wasn't told I couldn't say anything about it because I was then told not to, and then I got my hand slapped, but I didn't get in trouble because I didn't name specifics. But I remember being on a site and I said something like, "Be prepared, big GI Joe things are coming, or 6 inches coming," and people called me every name under the book. And then 2 weeks later, they announced 6 inch GI Joes. But none of those people have the capacity to apologize or say, "Oh, you were right." And it's not about who was right, who was wrong. And I see it all the time. Like with I saw a video of Destro's My Spirit Animal where he was talking about that. Or, maybe Bobby Vallas talked about some type of process and then he gets proven right. And it's just like, I think with the internet and the keyboard warriors, and living so many miles away, not having to be a man and say things to people's faces, I think people get a little loose and cavalier with that. And I think it works both ways. I think there are people that talk smack that never comes to fruition, and we know who those people are. Some live on an island, but and then there's other people that, they legit tell fans stuff, and some of it comes true, and and a lot of the stuff is fluid. Remember, I told you guys behind the scenes that we were getting Iron Grenadier Destro. We were supposed to get him at the tail end of 2023.
Well, but that kind of was founded out because they told us in the stream they've been working on it for a year and a half. And we're trying to figure out the scale and everything. They said
like there was rumors earlier this year and late last year about what the new HasLab was going to be, and I'm seeing where people are posting like Hasbro's can't afford to do a HasLab this year. I'm like, that's not the case. No, they have too many moving parts with moving, and the team, the new design team. And there's a lot of stuff that need to land and get dealt with. And then plus, if I'm not mistaken, they have a distribution center they're working on opening up. And then they also have what factory is going to make this stuff, because the situation in China is kind of fluid, even though there seemed like there were some trade agreements agreed upon in the last U.S. visit to China, state visit, whatever. But I don't know. I try not to read too much into it. I hate the term influencer. I think it just sounds kind of like cheesy. And my side, I'm not trying to be a news reporter. I just kind of react to, like we're reacting to these images that were shown, and I don't care who knows it first. Like I don't have to be like, I'm the first one to get it or the first one to know it. I'm just happy to eventually be able to get these, and that they're doing well and people like them and enjoy them, and that there's some type of fun sense of camaraderie that I get to collect aspects of my childhood in an adult way, I guess. But yeah, I think sniping at people, the best way to handle leaks is don't leak the information, and that's all 100% Hasbro. But Hasbro, whether they'll admit it or not, or Mattel or whoever, certain things they like to have leaked because leaks create buzz. Buzz creates interest. Interest creates dollars and orders.
Yeah, I think that's the interesting thing about it all. It does create buzz. It does create interest in this brand, and it gives that fun factor. We can do lists. Hey, what HasLab would you like this year? Hey, what figures haven't been made? Which Cobras haven't been made? And we can do a lot of that type of stuff, and it helps build this relationship in this community. So I think it's all positive. I think it's good to have stuff, and I don't reveal anything that I can't reveal. I know a lot of stuff that I can't reveal that I won't, because I don't want to step on my sources' toes, things like that.
Well, there's stuff I know about Energon Universe stuff that I haven't revealed to anybody. That I've told for the sake of being able to talk about it next week or the week after. I've told you a few things.
Oh yeah.
But not publicly, because I'm not going to. We don't really sign an NDA, but it's kind of a unspoken rule.
Yeah.
And because like Void Rivals got leaked a week before it came out, and I kind of half think they did that on purpose.
Oh yeah,
Um,
sometimes that stuff is purposeful and intentional for publicity purposes.
yeah, because it sold a hell of a lot of comics.
Well, look at all this
And
stuff for this stream that we got early. We got the Cobra Commander popping out of the Big Bad Toy Store box. We got the renders of the Fatal Fluffy and the Cadet Deming and Shipwreck. And then the night before, we got more Cobra Commander photos and stuff like that. So some of
that
that
might
is intentional.
and some of it might be Dan Larson lashing out because he didn't get to be Dan Larson the way he wanted to on the stream. I don't know. I mean, I'm of the mind, like, just let him do his thing, or don't neuter him. I mean, you bring him in, let him do his gimmick, and do it. I mean, because he has entertaining videos.
Oh, no, I think he's great. I was talking to you about this on Friday. I was looking at his numbers for his channel. His channel had 457,000 members, and he had
that's great.
hundreds of views on that, 800 and something views on that video. We're nowhere near that. We're a drop in the bucket compared to Dan Larson.
Oh yeah, I mean, he knows what he's doing. Of course, he also has a head start, but
oh yeah, way.
I mean, more power to him. But I always say, like, channels like Retro Blasting or Toy Secret Galaxy, whatever it's called, I like their retrospectives because even Analog Toys has done some really good retrospectives. I mean, the whole Action Force stuff. Tony, I mean, not me personally, but him doing his videos on that educated me on Action Man, and I really appreciated those videos.
And I think Stevie has a really good channel and very educational and talks about a lot of old toys, not just G.I. Joe, Transformers, all kinds of stuff. And I like Destro's my spirit animal. He does have some interesting videos, but there's certain factions involved there that I try to steer clear of. But yeah,
I try not to get any of that YouTube drama. It's not worth it, and it's silly at the end of the day. There's some people out there that are, keep it PG on here, BSers, and there's some people that are legit, and then just some people get jealous, and and I think, I don't. I don't know, but it's at the end of the day, it's comics and toys. It should all be fun stuff.
That's it.
And I don't.
Put that in the chat. I'll just put that up there. Toys are meant to have fun and enjoy and stuff like that. Because that's basically what this is all about. Everything we're doing here.
I showed somebody one time, somebody having a toy beef. I don't know what you call it. It's almost like rap, like LL Cool J and Kool Moe Dee had this heat and made albums against each other. So maybe it's a secret ploy. But anyway, I showed somebody, two adults going to war over toys, and they were like, "Is this real?" And I was like, "Yeah." I said, "It must be nice to be so well off in life that's your only concern is to beef with somebody because of their like or dislike of a toy." And I said, "That's not my gimmick. That's not what I'm into." No, there are people that come off as overtly super positive and kind of chillish, and I just kind of call it like it is. I mean, you saw how I'm in my store. I'm pretty positive about things and outgoing, and I try to treat everybody, whether they agree with me or disagree with me. Like I told somebody the other day, we had this conversation. I know stores in my town that if they don't like your politics, however they know what your politics is, you're not welcome in their store, or they treat you like a third-class citizen.
Yeah.
I know some stores that treat people of different colors as second-class citizens, which is absolutely unacceptable in my book, because I treat everyone with respect and dignity. And then as far as like political or religious beliefs, why you would know what somebody's political and religious beliefs are that shop at your store, I don't know. But if they're different or the same as mine, it doesn't matter. I treat everybody the same with dignity and respect. Unless somebody acts a fool in the store, then you got to straighten them out. Because I had somebody one time that was ranting. I don't know why, but they were ranting and raving about transgenders in my store, and I'm like, okay, we're kind of a country club for pop culture. I'm glad that people feel comfortable to announce their beliefs, but you said something that offended a gay couple, and that's not going to stand in my store. I want everyone to be welcome and have fun. And I feel like that's what this hobby. I don't want anybody to be excluded, regardless of how you feel about lifestyles, whatever. It's none of my business. And my business is to make people happy and to make sure their experience is happy. I've had to tell employees, it's comics and toys. Don't get mad because someone doesn't like Batman. Like
Exactly.
it's okay. It doesn't matter.
It's
Because we
not
had
gonna end the world. Yep.
somebody, some bulbous well come into my store one day, sent from another store to purposely set us off, or they thought they were going to set us off to create an incident, to have a moment, a bad review, and a video, whatever. And I was like, they were like, Iron Man sucks. And I was like, I agree. Yeah, I love Tony Stark, or Batman sucks. Yeah, I agree. I love Batman. Or G.I. Joe's terrible. Yeah, I think it's dumb. What do you like? But you like Buffy? I think Buffy's great. I wasn't giving them the satisfaction. Now my guy was getting all mad, and I'm like, dude, don't you see what they're doing? They're trying to get you. They're trying to create an incident, create a moment. Don't give it to them. Like, yeah, you're right. Batman, G.I. Joe, Iron Man, they all suck. I agree. I think Buffy and Angel are the way to go. And I'm not against Buffy and Angel. I think they're cool too. But yeah, I just don't give people don't give them sound bites and don't give them ammo.
Exactly. So I didn't expect to get off on that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
That's all right. It's
I went
fine.
on a tangent.
That's all right. It's fine. So I think this was a very good stream. I think they did a pretty good job. I think they were just getting the momentum going. So we have 3 more weeks of drops, 3 more weeks of renders, name onlys, and pre-orders. So it's going to be a very exciting month. We also have Joe Fest coming up in a few weeks. It just got, I think the schedule for panels was just announced. I am going to be hosting the voiceover animation panel for you guys
Cool.
at Joe Fest. So we're going to have Samantha Newark, Dan Gilvezan, Kyun Young, Sergeant Slaughter. I can't remember who the other. We have a.
That'll be a lot of fun. Oh, and the thing with the leaks, real quick. I was just thinking of this. Just because stuff gets leaked out, it's not gospel until Hasbro says it is. So that's why I think people ought to be careful with leaks too, because they might throw stuff out there just to troll and misdirect people and see where leaks are coming from. But like if I'm told to be quiet about something, I'm quiet about it. And David, you're frozen up. I don't know if you know that or not. You're frozen. David's got looks like he's making a weird hand motion, maybe. David, we can't hear you.
I'm back. Sorry.
Oh, there you go.
Froze up there. I think. For
Yeah.
a second. I apologize. So I want to say
Magneto showed up and froze the iron in your blood because you're talking about leaks. I don't know if you heard what I said. The thing with leaks, it's not really gospel until Hasbro says it is.
Right, exactly.
Like, I never leaked out that we were going to have the Iron Grenadier distro until I know, like, hey, this is shipping to you. Okay, cool. But it's not gospel until they say it is. So, but I also understand Dan's point of view on it too. Like, you're on a show, you're presenting this as brand new. Let them present it as brand new. So.
Right. Yep, I agree. So I want to say thank you for joining me on our preemptive G.I. Joe New News review episode, Yojo June update 4, and filling in for Toy Talk Live. I want to say thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys have been really great.
Yeah, really great chats.
Yeah, very good chat. We've been in the 20s, mid-20s, the entire thing, which is very good for us. So I really appreciate it. Let's see. It would be nice if they think about these things too. Ray, it makes it hard to get all the Hasbro wants, all the extra dough. They're talking about toys being expensive. How long have we been anticipating the Thunder Machine? Well, you're not going to have to worry about that much longer, Carlos Salinas. So hang in there. You only need a little bit longer on that one. Leaks are good and a nice vicious. I'm not sure what that word is, Lone Dragon, but vititious way. But
Like
you guys,
girl I used to know back in the day.
you guys are wonderful. Oh snap, leak. Yeah. So I want to say thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys hang out with us this entire 2 hours. It's a bit longer than we usually go in the Toy Talk Live, and having Dan with us to go over all this stuff and chit chat and talk about some of these hot topics is really cool because we get along really well and we're good buddies. So it's good that he joined us on this one. And
Yeah, thanks for having me, and thank you everybody for the great chats. And I just think this is a fun brand. It's, you know, like I've always said, whether it's 4-inch, 6-inch, whatever, I love GI Joe. I have since 1982, and it's just fun to kind of talk about and share our cool hobby with each other.
So what we like to do at the end of our streams when we do it, thank you very much, Ray Paz. Please, if you haven't had an opportunity, like, share, subscribe. We're this close to 300 subs. I do not buy subs. I do it the old-fashioned way, one sub at a time, based on our content and our positive environment that we put out there to YouTube land and to you guys, and our enthusiasm with G.I. Joe and toys, stuff like that. So if you have the opportunity, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button so you'll be notified of all our content. We do a lot of content on this channel. You'll see we're up to 364 episodes, and we do a lot of other stuff on this channel. We do Street Fighter Tuesdays, we do Unproduced Concepts Thursdays, we do news, we do comic book reviews, we do classified toy reviews, and we do these Intel things. So we have a whole series of Yojo June videos all month long that we're going to be doing, and I'll have different guests talking about Yojo June with me. Dan is in this episode. We got 610 Yojo Daddy and different other folks talking to us as well. So please join us and join a positive environment, join a positive place where we can just talk, hang out, and enjoy what we love. So thank you all in the yeah, no, Terry couldn't cut me off today. You're right, which I'm very happy about.
Or me.
It was nice to meet you, Ray Paz, as well. Appreciate you being in the stream today. You were very cool. You already subbed. Thank you very much. You liked. Very good. Appreciate it. We don't buy subs up your Subway. Jimmy John's, Jersey Mike's. Funny. All highly processed food is so good for you if you miss all those subs. All right, so that's gonna do it. So we like to say at the end of these videos.
Hold on, David. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it like Deep Six would do it. So when you do it, I'm gonna do it like Deep Six would do. So go ahead. 1, 2, 3. Yo, Joe. Yo, Joe, or words to that effect.
Oh, that was funny, Dan. Thank you.